Were you aware that the states of California and Florida are home to some of the pineapples that are known to be the most hardy in the world? You heard that right. These juicy golden fruits are not just a tropical delight, they are also a significant piece of the puzzle that is the agricultural industry in the United States. A taste of the tropics is brought right to our doorsteps thanks to the continued success of pineapple farming in these states, despite the difficulties that have been encountered. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell before we begin. We are going to walk you through the entire process of growing pineapples to distributing them from factories to your nearest supermarket. The planting season for pineapples is the perfect time to get things started. Let's get started with the planting season. Beginning the planting of pineapples in California and Florida is ideal when the temperature begins to drop around the middle of February. Your question is, why February? In spite of the fact that pineapples adore warmth, they require a head start in order to prevent the intense summer sun from taking over. Because of its one-of-a-kind climate, Hawaii waits a little bit longer than other states, beginning the planting season approximately 3 weeks later. This staggered timing is essential because it aligns with the growing conditions of the region. This ensures that pineapples receive the ideal amount of sunlight and moisture throughout their entire growth cycle. Putting this into geographical context, let's talk about geography. The coastal regions of California and the subtropical climate of Florida offer the ideal combination of warmth and humidity for pineapple farming when compared to other states. The differences in planting times between these states and Hawaii are not simply due to differences in climate. Rather, it is due to the fact that the growth cycle is optimized to fit the conditions of the local environment. When it comes to pineapples, the transition from the cooler spring to the warmer summer in California is seamless, making it an ideal growing season. When it comes to planting, Florida, on the other hand, has a more consistent subtropical climate, which allows for a greater degree of flexibility. However, it is necessary to be careful with timing in order to avoid the intense summer heat. Now we will move on to the propagation stage, which is where the magic starts. The art of propagation is extremely important to the pineapple farming industry. In contrast to the majority of other crops, pineapples do not originate from seeds. Rather than that, young plants, which are frequently referred to as pups, are carefully separated from the trunk of the mother plant. The task at hand is neither simple nor quick. Farmers have the responsibility of ensuring that each puppy is robust and healthy enough to survive and thrive on its own. Because these puppies are the farm's future, it is essential that they be successfully separated from their parents in order to keep the crop productive. After being separated, these young plants are then moved to new plots of land until they are ready to be planted. It is not enough to simply relocate them. It is also necessary to make certain that they are provided with the ideal conditions for growth. To accomplish this, it is necessary to select land that has been meticulously prepared with the appropriate soil composition and sufficient space for the plants to enable their roots to spread out. Because of the meticulous nature of the process, it is necessary to have both experience and a profound understanding of the land. It is common for people to overlook the pre-planting preparation, which is an essential step that must be completed before planting can begin. There is a specific stimulant that is sprayed on the pineapple trees in order to accomplish this. This stimulant is intended to encourage deeper root growth, which is necessary for the plant to maintain its stability and absorb nutrients to the fullest extent possible. Farmers can ensure that their pineapples will have a sturdy foundation that is able to withstand a variety of environmental stresses by encouraging the roots to dig deeper into the soil. When it comes to planting density, pineapple farming is nothing short of impressive. This is because pineapples are grown in such large quantities. A total of approximately 11,000 pineapple trees are planted by laborers on each acre. A lot of pineapples, that's for sure. This high-density planting is a strategic move that enables farmers to maximize their yield while maintaining the quality of the fruit they produce during the growing season. However, the goal is not simply to pack as many plants as possible into a given area. Rather, it is to strike a balance between the density of the space and the health and productivity of each individual plant. Pineapples are hardy, but they still require a certain amount of water. Pineapples have significant water requirements. Approximately 1.5 inches of water should be applied to a pineapple plant on a weekly basis. It might not seem like much, but this is the exact amount that is required to keep the plants hydrated without causing the soil to become overly saturated. Watering the plant on a regular basis is essential because it not only helps the plant grow, but also ensures that the fruit will develop its characteristic sweetness. The ability of pineapples to withstand drought is one of the fascinating characteristics that sets them apart from other fruits. Pineapples, in contrast to many other types of crops, are able to endure dry spells because of their deep-rooted system and tough leaves, both of which contribute to the conservation of water. Due to their resistance to extreme weather, they are an ideal crop for regions that experience erratic rainfall. However, despite the fact that they are able to endure drought, the quality of the fruit is still dependent on consistent watering, particularly during the phases of growth that are particularly crucial. Let's switch gears and talk about patience, because growing pineapples requires a significant amount of it. For the majority of pineapple varieties, it takes approximately 2 years from the time that those pups are planted until they reach the stage where they can be harvested. Right, that's right, 2 years in total. When this time of year arrives, farmers are constantly tending to the plants, making certain that they have everything they require to develop into robust and healthy plants. Although it is a lengthy wait, the reward, which is a pineapple that is perfectly ripe and sweet, is well worth the effort. There is one last check that needs to be made before the big harvest, and that is the sweetness test. Despite the fact that pineapples are well known for having flesh that is both sweet and juicy, not all pineapples are created equal. Farmers conduct tests to determine the level of sweetness in their pineapples before harvesting them. This helps to ensure that only the highest quality fruits are brought to market. Typically, this is accomplished by determining the amount of sugar present, which is commonly referred to as the Brix level. For the purpose of harvesting, only pineapples that are able to satisfy the desired sweetness standards are chosen. This ensures that each and every fruit is of sufficient quality. When it comes time to harvest, everyone is working together to get the job done. The harvesting of pineapples is a massive operation that requires the participation of thousands of workers, many of whom have prior experience in this extremely labor-intensive process. In order to prevent any damage to the plant, the harvesting process is carried out manually, with workers carefully removing the fruit from the plant. Since the manner in which pineapples are harvested can have a significant impact on the quality of the fruit, this is a laborious task, but it is also an important one. Specifics of the workforce. Although the workforce in pineapple farming is diverse, the majority of its members are Mexican workers, including a sizable number of immigrants who are not in possession of proper documentation. The labor that is required to bring these delectable fruits from the fields to your table is provided by these workers, who play an important role in the industry. When it comes to this industry, it is essential to acknowledge their contributions because they are the industry's backbone. Let's get down to some numerical analysis. Approximately 165,000 tons of pineapples were produced in the United States in the year 2020, making a contribution to the existing global market for pineapples. Even though this may appear to be a small amount in comparison to global production giants such as Costa Rica, which produces more than 2 million tons annually, it is a significant figure when taking into consideration the difficulties that are faced by farmers in the United States. These numbers highlight the significance of preserving a robust domestic pineapple industry, which guarantees that consumers in the United States have access to fresh fruit that is grown in their own neighborhood. Although we produce pineapples ourselves, the vast majority of pineapples that are consumed in the United States are actually imported from other countries. It is Honduras, Mexico, and Costa Rica that are the most significant players. It is possible for these nations to produce large quantities of pineapples throughout the entire year because they have the climate that is ideal for pineapple farming. Pineapples are readily available in supermarkets across the United States as a result of the United States' annual importation of millions of tons of pineapples from these countries. On an annual basis, the average amount of pineapple that is consumed by a person in the United States is approximately 7 pounds. A lot of pineapples, that's for sure. Because of this high consumption rate, the fruit is extremely popular, and there is a constant demand for pineapple that is both fresh and sweet throughout the year. Pineapples are a common ingredient in the kitchens of many people in the United States, whether they are fresh, canned, or dried. Following the harvesting process, the pineapples are not immediately transported to the market. Rather, they are subjected to a number of processing steps in order to guarantee that they are ready for consumption. Before being sold, pineapples are washed in factories to remove any dirt or residue that may be present. After that, they are peeled and cut into a variety of shapes, depending on the purpose for which they are intended. For the purpose of preserving its quality and freshness, each pineapple undergoes a meticulous processing procedure, regardless of whether it is destined for the fresh produce aisle, the canning line, or the drying racks. It is a fascinating process that is one of the most popular ways to preserve pineapples, and it is also one of the most popular ways to preserve pineapples. Depending on the final product that is desired, the pineapples are either sliced into rings, chunks, or crushed after they have been washed and peeled. After that, these pieces are processed into cans, where they are packaged alongside a sugary syrup that assists in maintaining their sweetness. The cans are then heated to kill any bacteria that may be present, ensuring that the pineapples will be safe to consume for a period of time that could last for months or even years. Dried pineapples are another popular product, and they are produced through a process that is rather straightforward but highly efficient. Before being sliced into thin pieces, the pineapples are first peeled and then sliced. After that, the slices are baked at low temperatures for a number of hours, until all of the moisture has been removed from them. What is the end result? Slices of pineapple that are sweet and chewy, making them the ideal snack berries. The fruit is preserved through this drying process, which provides the ability to store it for extended periods of time without the need for refrigeration. Pineapples are extremely versatile, and as a result, they are utilized in the production of a wide range of different products. In addition to fresh, canned, and dried pineapples, you can also find pineapple juice, sauces made with pineapple, and even candies and snacks that have a pineapple flavor. The versatility of the fruit is highlighted by these products, which also highlight its distinctive flavor profile, which works well with both sweet and savory dishes with equal success. At this point, it is important to take a moment to contrast the pineapple farming in the United States with that of Costa Rica, which is the largest exporter of pineapples in the world. Even though the United States of America does not produce as much pineapple as Costa Rica does, our farmers are committed to upholding high standards of quality and sustainability in their products. We are not only able to enjoy fruit that is more flavorful and fresher because we are supporting local pineapple farms, but we are also contributing to an agricultural landscape that is more resilient and diverse. So what are your thoughts on this matter? Would you say that you have gained any new knowledge about pineapple farming today? Your feedback is greatly appreciated, so please share it with us in the comments section below. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe to our channel if you found this video to be enjoyable. This will ensure that you are always up to date with our most recent content. Your presence is greatly appreciated, and we hope to see you in the next one.